Greelease. I'm the bass teacher here at Funky Monkey Music. And I've been playing bass for like 25 years, and I've been playing professionally for about 20 years, and I play about 5 nights a week in a band called the Mickey Finn Band. I'm also a music director at Abiding Savior Lutheran Church. I direct their contemporary worship service. And you can see me, if you want to check my band out, it's called the Mickey Finn Band, and we are at www.mickeyfinnband.com, and our MySpace page is MySpace / the Mickey Finn Band. And if you ever want to see our dates or listen to some of our music, and really what I want people to get out of taking lessons from me is to make them competent musicians, and so they can think on their own, and they can be competent and confident in whatever musical situation they find themselves in. And I do that via, I start off with technique. I teach them how to read, and I also teach a lot of theory and composition, and I have 4 play-along CDs that I use, and that's where I delve into like jazz and stuff, and walking bass lines. And the point of the play-along CDs is to teach. I teach people how to solo, and how to construct walking jazz bass lines. And the whole reason to learn this is jazz is the only kind of bass playing that you have to actually know what you're doing and what's in the chord. Okay, so it's easy to walk a bunch of dominant 7th chords. That's all patterns. But how do you get from a major chord to another major chord, to a dominant chord, to a minor 7th chord? You know, and you have to actually know what's in the chord. Okay. And also in jazz, you're not expected to repeat yourself, which is you do in every other style of bass playing. And also you get to solo against interesting changes. Instead of doing your barn burner or slappity solo, you actually get to play a major 7th against a major 7th chord, that kind of thing. And the whole reason to learn that I get into the jazz and stuff also is to teach composition. And because you can learn about 500 classic rock songs and never know how a song was put together. I don't know why that is, but in jazz you have a whole bunch of chord changes in a very structured form, and in jazz standards, and you are and there's a whole bunch happening in a small space, and it goes through several different key centers. A lot of these songs, so you learn how songs are put together, and all the jazz standards that I teach on my play-along CDs are types of jazz standards that apply to other songs, you know. And that's a good thing about jazz standards is if you learn these certain types of songs, you understand a lot about how a lot of jazz standards work, and you're not lost when you see something. And for me, that really made all the difference in the world for me, and I rely on that kind of training and gigs to be able to quantify a song. When somebody's showing me a song as we're playing it, I can quantify the chord changes and the form of the song, so they don't have to hold my hand or anything like that the next time. You know what I mean? I've got it. So, and really the reason to learn how to solo over this kind of stuff is to learn how to think and hear fast. Because if you can, most of this stuff, this jazz stuff, if you can think and hear fast enough to solo over it, then you will sure as heck be able to put a bass line underneath a Leonard Skinner song that maybe you've just heard on the radio. You know what I mean? And because really nobody cares if I can, nobody that pays me cares if I can play fast. They just want me to know every song ever written and to be able to think and hear quickly. And that's, if you can think and hear quickly, you can anticipate what's happening. So that's my philosophy on teaching. Well, yeah, you got all the whole, like the guy from Stax Records, Duck Dunn. I liked all the Motown stuff, and Jaco Pastorius. Everybody's player says that, and really locally, who I was really turned on was also John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, my favorite rock bass player, completely underrated. But locally, the guys that I really liked were guys that they made the band way more exciting when they were there. They had this thing that they had a lot of energy, really just kind of pumped along, you know, and they made the music more exciting. And they weren't like, you know, necessarily, they weren't like Neil guys, they were groovers, you know, and although they had the facility to do that when they wanted to. And that's the guys that really turned me on when I was a young musician just starting out, you know. And yeah. When I was like 12, my dad was taking me in my guitar lesson, and somebody was trading in like one of those like mid-70s mocha colored Fender P basses, and I asked my dad what it was. He goes, "Well, Paul, that's a Fender bass," and he said, "If you learn how to play bass, you will always have a job." And like that summer, I think I painted all summer, and I went and bought a PVT 40 that weighed like 20 pounds and a little, you know, 80 watt TKO 80 amp, and started playing bass. And I was probably the best guitar player in my whole high school. Yeah, but I always played bass in bands because it was more fun. I just gravitated towards it.